Donald Trump unveiled his new proposed budget this week, and it flat out eliminates many government agencies. Now, the list is really long. We're not going to go through all the ones that he wants to eliminate. And actually, there are a select few that I don't necessarily disagree with. Now, I know a lot in my audience are to the left of me on this, but, you know, for example, I always said having the government be involved with art, for example. Like, I get having art classes in school. I think that makes perfect sense. But the National Endowment for the Art, any funds that go to other things for art, no, I think art is one of those things that kind of should be free market. You shouldn't get the government to subsidize, you know, your art, for example. But that's neither here nor there. That's a minor point, and that's only one of a bunch of different agencies that he wants to eliminate. But let me give you some of them here, because some of these are just an absolute nightmare. So he wants to eliminate the Legal Services Corporation. They get $300 million, which of course is just an absolutely tiny fraction of the federal budget. But here's what that $300 million goes to. It helps provide free legal advice to poor people. So you can see why somebody like Trump would say, yeah, let's eliminate that. He also wants to eliminate the Corporation for National and Community Service, because, you know, they have that thing. Ever since Obama, they've had that thing where community service, haha, disgusting. I mean, who would, like, do service for the community? That's so stupid. It's like left-wing, hippy-dippy, you know, communist shit. Fuck that. Anyway, eliminate it. Eliminate anything that's, you know, for the people. Forget about it. They also want to get rid of the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Uh-oh, so you know what that means, right? NPR and PBS, for example, get some money from this. But actually the CPB, as it's called, it's a small portion of the funding for NPR and PBS. Those are the national public media outlets. But the proposed cuts would really be felt by local public broadcasters, which account for more than 90% of the $440 million in grants that the CPB gives out. So basically what they're trying to do is gut public broadcasting. Now, look, when it comes to public broadcasting, that's one of those things where, do we really want all of our media apparatus everywhere to be for profit? You know, like, especially corporate media. I mean, corporate media is an abysmal failure, and you can see the conflicts of interest just oozing and dripping out of the people that they hire and the segments that they run, and they have their establishment bias and they have their neutrality bias in some cases. You have MSNBC, the Democratic Party hack network, Fox News, the Republican hack network. Do we really want all of our news to be ratings chasing disasters? And then here's the one that just really gets me the most. They want to get rid of the Interagency Council on Homelessness. It's and what they do is they've tried to come up with, and their whole plan is, the whole reason why they exist is they need to have, they're creating a federal strategy to fight homelessness, and the budget's only $4 million. So they're trying to come up with this grand plan to get rid of homelessness, and like really get into the details and dot the I's and cross the T's and get into all the nuances and the nooks and crannies and try to implement and try to craft this thing. Trump and the Republicans are just like, yeah, no, we're going to go ahead and say we're pro-homelessness, so let's get rid of that. By the way, there's been multiple studies that have confirmed that the federal government would actually save money if we put a roof over the head of every single homeless person in America. Because it costs money when they're out there on the street, and then they're in and out of jail, and, you know, they're in and out of the hospital. And so it actually net costs the taxpayers more money if you just leave them on the street. So that means we really should have a plan to put a roof over their head, because it'd be better for everybody. It's better from a financial and economic perspective, and it's also better from a moral perspective. But Trump and the Republicans are like, nah, fuck that. Like, go ahead. I mean, we're going to have a government agency that actually cares about the poorest amongst us. We're going to care about homeless people. That's what we're going to do. We're going to look out for people who've, you know, had life kick their ass and spit them out. No, we don't care about them. Then, like, okay, why the fuck are you in government? Like, why are you in government if you don't believe in one of the core functions of government, which is to look out for the American people? And in many instances, you know, the worst off or homeless. Why would you not want to help them? By the way, we have over 50,000 homeless veterans in the country right now. Didn't you run on veterans issues? Didn't you say, oh yeah, I'm going to look after the veterans? Tremendous, believe me. And to be fair to him, he cut almost every single domestic agency. But there's a few that he increased. One of them was the VA. So at least in some ways, he's like, okay, yeah, seriously, we got to fix the VA. Let's do an increase for the funding for there. Okay, good, credit to you. But then why are you sticking up your middle finger to homeless veterans? Don't they need your help more than anybody? So it's just, again, the moral compass of Trump and his Republican cronies here. I mean, how vile is this? Of all the fucking areas to cut in our government, guys, I don't think you get it. The military-industrial complex is our government. Wall Street is our government. You know, you have $80 billion every year as a subsidy. Goes to the big banks. We spent over $15 trillion on a Wall Street bailout. We got corporate welfare out the wazoo. We lose out on hundreds of billions of dollars because corporations are allowed to use tax havens. So they get to cheat on their taxes, and it's legal because they hired an army of lobbyists to corrupt the politicians and throw money at their campaigns. So the military-industrial complex and Wall Street and multinational corporations, they own our government. So we have so many areas. ExxonMobil gets a $4 billion subsidy every year. Instead of cutting the things that actually should be cut, what does he do? He increases it. He increases military spending by $54 billion, even though we have the biggest military that's ever existed in human history, while at the same time saying, oh, let's go ahead and cut the Corporation for Public Broadcasting Interagency Council on Homelessness. Get the fuckity-fuck sack out of here, man. I mean, this is some bullshit. So, and as I said in the previous segment, you know where he got the core of his budget from? The Heritage Foundation. So Mr., I'm not like the other Republicans. I'm a populist. Believe me, let me just tell you. It's all rhetoric. It's all politician doublespeak. It's nonsense. He didn't mean a word of it. And he's similar to Hillary Clinton in that respect, where you on both sides of every single issue. But then what you actually do in office defines who you are and what your real political belief system is. And this shows right here, he's just the quintessential establishment Republican, proposing a budget that Mitt Romney could only propose, in his dreams.